this is Christian from AndroidUnite.com, and as you can tell by what I'm holding on the screen here, this is the HTC One, HTC's newest flagship device, and this is my first impressions video. I've had the phone since Friday, I would say midday, and it is now, as you can see there by the clock, Monday at 9:50, roughly 3 days, and I've definitely enjoyed every bit of it. I will say that this phone has a few things that irk me, but overall this is the best phone I've ever used, hands down. And I'm just going to run through some things that I think that every HTC One user should know. You know, some people out there are still waiting for their phones. I know that Wirefly had some sort of problem with getting their stock in, and so some people still haven't gotten this device in their hands. So I want to make sure that when you do, you know exactly what you're doing. So first and foremost, let's start off with the build quality. So obviously this is one of the biggest features of the phone, the fact that they have taken it to a new level: unibody construction, zero gap design, ultra megapixel camera, but we'll talk about that in a second. Chamfered edges, which is something that we had only previously seen on the iPhone, gives it a very premium feel, very nice look. Some sort of radial machined button here for the volume rocker, and it is completely flush. I would honestly be very impressed if you would be able to tell, you know, when it started and when it ended. That it's that good. The top here has the 3.5mm headphone jack and the IR blaster, which I won't demonstrate for you at the moment, but I will say that unlike everybody else's reviews, mine didn't pick up my TV automatically, so I had to manually set it. It took roughly 10 to 15 minutes, to be honest, to make sure and all the buttons were preset and that it was working properly, the inputs were changing correctly, and every menu button was selectable. And so just a heads up, it can cause problems, or not problems I would say, but it can cause some delays if you don't have like a top of the line Samsung or an LG TV. And so just going through here, the feel in the hands is tremendous. Most people you'll see in the reviews, they'll set the phone in the center of their hand, and truly nobody does that. Everybody sets it right in their fingers, and then they use their thumb for maximum stretchability. You know, you can reach the top and you can reach the bottom. It sits nice and flush. I try to keep a pinky down at the bottom at all times, just for stability's sake. But as you can see, I've got normal sized hands, and this phone is great. The one thing that I will say is I wasn't expecting the long reach for the power button. This thing, it tends to get in the way sometimes. I hate having to tilt my phone like this, because the less surface that your fingers are touching, the more easily, or more of a chance, sorry, the bug just landed on me, that's weird, more of a chance there is of it slipping out. And this is a very slick device, so definitely don't appreciate the power button up here, but I understand why they did it, and so I think it was just something I have to get over. I was so used to having the Samsung power button layout where all I'd have to do is press my thumb. But other than that, I definitely have no complaints about the build quality whatsoever. A few people I've heard concerned about whether the zero gap construction was really holding up. Mine definitely is holding up. There's absolutely no gap on any of the sides, and I just think the way it fits in your hand, the way it weighs, just gives off this premium feel, and it's definitely tremendous. You can see the boom sound speakers are very nicely placed, and they're not a part of the unibody construction, which I did notice. There is a little bit of a jump here between the screen and the top speaker grill. But other than that, I have no complaints. The chamfered edges are there, and it looks tremendous. I will move on now to the software side of things. You are technically presented with Blinkfeed the very first time that you open it up, but that is temporary. If you'd like, you can set, you know, your regular Android home screen as your default. But something to keep in mind is if you scroll a few down and all of a sudden you want to get to the very top, just hit the notification button. Sorry, trying to do this through the screen. Just hit the notification button at the top and it'll automatically put you at the very top. If you want to highlight only specific feeds, I've got my Twitter and my Facebook and several news sites aggregating to this Blinkfeed. But if you want to isolate one of them, just press down this menu and say, hey, I just want to see Facebook, for instance. So then it'll replace it with just your Facebook images and stories. If you want to change what topics and services you have, just pull down this menu, which it won't appear if you know, just under normal circumstances, but if you pull it down, it'll appear. You'll be able to press the 3-button layout, the menu button, and then just go from there. Let's see what else. Moving over to the regular home screen, there are no power user buttons up at the top, which I was very disappointed with. I really wanted that, but of course you can, you know, download some apps and get that replaced. You will always see this power saver off or on mode with the checkbox next to it to enable it. I highly recommend that you do check it, but that you check it and go into power settings, power saver. Sorry, I won't let you edit them while it's on, so let me turn it off really quick. Only have CPU power and data connection checked. Don't check the display and don't check the vibration, and I guarantee you won't even be able to notice that you've got power saver on, apart from the fact that your battery will take a lot longer to run down. Trust me guys, if you're getting an HTC One, you definitely need to have power saver enabled. Not because it's going to die on you, but I'm one of those kind of people that hates to see my battery run down. Even halfway through my day at lunch, I hate seeing it empty. And so this will significantly decrease the drainage on your battery as long as you have power mode enabled with only CPU power and data connection checked. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that on at this moment. And I did download a widget up here, or actually an app that gives you a widget on the notification bar, because as you can see, the power button or the battery display on this phone doesn't actually show you percentage. So I did download one. I've been using it all day and it's at 30%, and so it's doing really well. And you can tell by the time of day, it's 10 o'clock and I woke up and disconnected this phone roughly around 7:30 this morning, so it's doing awesome. Let's see what else. One thing that a lot of the people online are criticizing is that when you create a new home screen, or let's say you have a home screen and you're wanting to add an app to it, they're telling you to go into the app drawer, grab it, and then they're complaining that it doesn't automatically go to the screen so that you can place it. And instead you have to go up here to shortcut and then go to the actual screen to place it. That is annoying. I completely admit that is something that HTC needs to work on. I don't appreciate that in sense, and hopefully it'll get refined in the next iteration. But here's a tip for you really quick. If you press and hold, you'll automatically be presented with all home screens. And in this little drop down menu, if you've got it set to apps by default, if you just drop down and set it to apps by default, then you can just grab and drop like normal. If I were to do it again, Chrome, drag and drop like normal. Car, drag and drop like normal. So it gives you a workaround for that specific thing. I really needed that because it started getting on my last nerve, just having to go through all that process. So I'm glad I stumbled upon that. Naturally and by default it's on widgets, but if you drop down that menu and you leave it on apps, and then you just get out of it, when you go back it'll always be apps. So then you'll just be able to scroll and get something new, take it to your home screen of choice and drop it. And yeah, it's awesome. I do recommend that you get a screen protector for this thing. Just the fact that it's got glass on most of the front of the device. Highly recommended that you get a screen protector. I do have a screen protector on there now, which I did a review of. It's the Spigen Ultra Crystal, and in my original video that I recorded and uploaded, you couldn't really see the gap that was left on the Spigen screen protector, but as you can see there, it's a slight, maybe 1 millimeter that isn't covered. But overall, I'm very satisfied with their product. Starts at the very top, right at the edge of the speaker grill, and goes all the way up until a millimeter that's lacking at the bottom. Overall, it's great. Touch screen or capacitive buttons are very responsive. Haven't had any troubles with that. Camera is tremendous. I went to the park this past weekend and took advantage of the ultra pixel camera, and as you can see here, I will demonstrate what a Zoe is. I'll let you learn what a Zoe is on your own, but I just really want to show you guys this. Now, I didn't have to do anything for the phone to create this Zoe. It does it automatically every time that you take a picture. It incorporates that using the algorithm into a brand new video that you can then turn around and share with your friends on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, on pretty much anything. I've opted not to use the HTC, I think they call it HTC Watch or something like that. I can't remember. The HTC service that lets you upload it to them, because it only keeps the video there temporarily, and I want it to be permanent, so I just upload it to my YouTube account. I highly recommend you do that. When you get the camera, or sorry, when you get the phone, do not sync your pictures with Google Plus, don't sync it with Dropbox, don't sync it with anything. And the reason for that is it'll start creating duplicates, and then if you ever need to download them, it'll just create an absolute mess. So what I suggest is that you turn all the syncing off of Dropbox and of Google Plus, and just keep it on your phone. What creating a Zoe does is it takes 20 individual pictures. Zoe is short for zoetrope, so it mimics animation in that it plays the 20 pictures sequentially in what appears to be a 3-second spot, and records audio on top of that. And so those pictures are going to add up quick, and if you need to transfer them, I'd suggest that you just transfer them to your computer or something, instead of creating a mess when you're uploading it to the cloud. Just a heads up there. Let's see what else. I think that maybe it. I know that this video is running a little long. Guys, this is the best phone of 2013. Unless Google completely wows us at Google I/O with some Motorola superphone, this is honestly the best phone I have felt. This is the best phone that I have anticipated since the HTC One. The Nexus One. The Nexus One is the closest I've ever gotten to being as excited as I am about this phone. So that tells you a lot. I got into blogging because of the Nexus One, and it's phones like the HTC One that keep me in the blogging game. And so I've got plenty of other reviews coming. This was just a first impressions and a tips and tricks. Honestly, if you think that you may benefit from our channel or our website, go ahead and visit us, like our video, subscribe to our channel, follow us on Twitter @DroidUnite. Obviously visit our website www.androidunite.com, and we'll see you next time, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.